On to the last segment in the Western Conference, talking about second round matchups. Warriors just advance. They're either going to face the Timberwolves or the Grizzlies now. You know, before talking about this potential series matchup, I want to talk about the Grizzlies and Wolves because, you know, that's a series we haven't talked about much, and it's been awesome. Now, listen. Wolves are winning in 7. It's been my prediction all along.
They should have won in 4.
You know, because
5.
Yeah, they should have because they blew game 3, historic collapse.
They blew last game too.
Last game 5, they blew that as well. Minnesota, I'm just gonna vent about them for a little bit because I think a lot of Timberwolves fans are gonna feel this grievance as well.
They might feel
this is the thing. Too. What we're looking at with Minnesota is a combination of a couple things. Every game they've lost, they've been out-rebounded offensively by 4+. We saw Game 5, Brandon Clark, he was
going crazy.
The Grizzlies had 18 offensive rebounds in Game 5 to the Timberwolves 6. Kat has mentioned it that it's not easy to get these rebounds because oftentimes he's out of position, which has led Brandon Clark to be in position. Now, look, I'll just say this. I thought the officiating down the stretch of Game 5 was some bullshit.
Yeah.
Moran getting those foul calls I thought was BS. I thought Pat Bev getting fouled out was BS. I kind of felt like they were obviously favoring Memphis. Minnesota should have won it. The Grizzlies have been the only team to come back from 2 20-point deficits in a series in history. That alone shows me that Minnesota should have won this series pretty easily. It should have been a 5-game series, but it wasn't. Look, I'll give credit to Memphis for not quitting, but this is more on Minnesota's inability to close out games. Whenever you see them getting to the fourth quarter, and this has been happening all season, it's not just a this series thing. This has been happening all season way too often. They settle on shots late in games. They don't have a clear-cut offense. They don't have a clear-cut go-to guy, and that's why I tweeted the other day, Minnesota will not get over the hump until they understand Anthony Edwards is the go-to guy in these situations. And even him, too, sometimes he settles for shots he shouldn't settle for, but there's not enough ball movement late in these games. And Edwards mentioned it in a post-game interview where it's tough because D'Lo wants the ball, Cat wants the ball, Edwards wants the ball, and they just have to figure that out. But it's been the entire season that they haven't been able to figure out who's going to get the ball in those situations. I think right now, because of seniority, it should be Cat, but it should also be on a game-by-game basis. Game 5, Cat should have gotten the ball down the stretch. I believe so. They should have ran offense through Cat. Edwards made that fantastic 3, but he didn't have his best game in Game 5. Cat was having the better game of everybody. I think D'Lo has to step up, and it's also just like missing rotations defensively and not being all the way there. Unnecessary gambles we saw with Anthony Edwards trying to get that steal on John Morant, left Jared Vanderbilt on an island. It was going to be a lob or a layup. John Morant ended up laying it up. These are just these mistakes that are easily correctable that the Wolves have to correct. I think they win Game 6 at home, and Game 7, anything can happen, and I got the Wolves. I tweeted it. Claim your Wolves in 7 tickets now. I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. I've been having the Wolves all series long. They're going to win. They should have won in 5. They are clearly the better team. Even if Memphis wins, I will not admit, because it's not true, that they're a better team than Minnesota. Minnesota is the better team, and it's showing. They just blow these leads.
You need this
but they're
one,
a better
King.
team.
You need this one.
And on to the Golden State thing.
Oh, this should be simple.
It doesn't matter who advances. I think Memphis is a better matchup for Golden State, but Golden State will beat either team, and it won't be much of a competition.
You know, I don't even think at this point right now with the way Memphis is playing, I don't even think it'd be. I think it don't really matter the matchup.
Again.
No, I'm serious, and I'm gonna go on my little spiel. You know what I'm saying? John Morant, yeah, facts. Yeah.
I got you.
Or he's been wilding. He kept us over there for what?
For the whole episode.
This was mine.
Don't worry, bro.
He has one. He has his own. Why'd you give him one?
It's empty. That's why I'm like.
I just seen you drinking.
Coughing. I'm telling you, I ain't got
You
nothing.
can have it because I don't even need nothing. I got to piss, so I don't even want it.
Thank you.
It's just going to you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, though. But I ain't going to say nothing too much about it.
Why do you think I went over to get the water? I was thirsty.
I thought you was going.
I'll give you half, bro.
No, I'm good. I don't need none.
No, don't worry. I'll give you
sure?
half.
All right.
That hit. Just give your analysis.
Thank you. You know what? I got to pay respect to Minnesota. You know, I got to. I can't hate no more. You know what I'm saying? John Morant, they've done as
There's
good
nothing to hate on.
Why'd you just sound like Birdman?
I have no
I
idea.
ain't gotta hate no mo.
I have no idea. They've done as good a job on John Morant as anybody as I've ever seen. You know, John Morant, his playmaking has been great, but he just cannot get to the rim. And shout out to Ja, he's not forcing anything.
No.
You know, he's not, if he doesn't.
In some moments, it feels that way.
For a guy who's not getting his shots, you would think he would force. But at times he's being patient. At times he's looking
facilitating,
at,
correct.
He's like, you know what? It's not going to be my night. I can't take too many shots, unlike some other guy that we're going to get to later on tonight. But he's not taking a lot. He's being patient, so I respect that about Ja. But they have done a great job on John Morant, and you see why the series is close. You do a great job on John Morant, and then you make it a series. You know, Jaren Jackson Jr. hasn't looked like the guy we're expecting him to look like. He looks undisciplined. At times he looks low on IQ. He just looks like he's out of place. And sometimes he plays funky. Steven Adams, he virtually becomes unplayable at times because he just can't guard Cat. Like, there's just nothing he could do. Brandon Clark has been amazing in his stretches. You know, he's been solid. And Edwards, he has his moments, but he's overall been a really solid for them. D'Lo sucks. I'm sorry. This man has been ass. And I love D'Lo's game. I really do. I love D'Lo. I think everybody loves D'Lo. He's swaggy. He got the style. He's mad cool, nonchalant. Like, he cool. Everybody likes D'Lo. He's a good dude to like. God, he sucks. Like, he's just not. He's virtually, and I get what you're saying. It should be a game-by-game basis, but I don't even think it should be that. It should just be Ant and Cat. D'Lo hasn't been good. It should just be straight Ant work, a Cat work. That's pretty much it. They've been the two best guys. Pat Bev, I even think, should sometimes get a little bit over D'Lo. He's been better. And John Moran is a fucking cone. It's embarrassing. Like,
it's chill.
He's borderline Trae Young, and it's getting me mad. He's falling for the simple pump fake. Pat Bev keeps doing it. So, for me, like, you know what? It's tough, but I might go Minnesota in 7, bro.
Wow.
I've watched 6 games.
Wow.
5 games, pardon me, and they just look like the better team. They've literally been beating themselves with the lack of experience, the undisciplined plays, with the fact that they're not focused mentally. They haven't been focused for a 48-minute game, and that's because I don't even want to say they're young, because Cat and D'Lo aren't young, but that lack of experience in the playoffs does matter. People have to understand that. Chris Finch, he's still a young head coach. He doesn't have that experience.
Yeah,
that
calling
matters.
a timeout not calling a timeout in a 20-year run is ridiculous.
They have to understand that, and they will get it in time. Memphis is another team, though, that's
both
not
still young.
They're very
both
young
teams
teams,
are young
but you can tell
development.
Memphis is more experienced in the sense where they know that adversity is they don't
I wouldn't
give
say
up.
experienced. They're smarter.
You know, we
part of
argued
experience.
about this in the group chat yesterday in the game. Anthony Edwards beat Ja on that late drive. Clark helped.
He did
That's
not.
why he picked up his dribble.
Ja was there with him step for step.
That layup Ja was crazy.
Bro.
That game winner.
Yeah, nah, he's nuts.
I was like, oh my God.
Edwards was about to body him right,
and you
was
know what?
bulldozing right to the basket.
Soda in 7.
crazy. You just flipped.
You know what's funny?
flip.
And
I love Ja. I love Ja Morant. Everybody knows that.
But you know what you have to give their acknowledgement to, or the acknowledgement to Ja Morant, where he was struggling that
I'm
whole.
so sorry. Before I cut you off, just to quickly talk about the Warriors in the next 2.
All right, there's
it
nothing
doesn't
to say.
matter.
There's nothing to
Memphis
say.
doesn't look like the team.
And-
they doesn't look like the number 2 seed. They just look like a team that's not gonna hold up. And Minnesota's too young.
Yeah,
Warriors.
and the thing about Jaren Jackson is that he gets into his most foul trouble when a smaller lineup's on the floor.
Yeah.
Against Golden State, that's what's going to happen. So that's why
yeah.
I think it's over for Memphis
Oh my
against
God.
Golden
When
State.
they put out DEFCON
But
5?
this is the thing. This is what I wanted to say about that. About just Minnesota Memphis, is that when we gave our analysis, both previewing the series, I told you guys the key for Minnesota is keeping Memphis off the glass, offensive rebounds.
Yep.
And literally that's what's been killing them this series.
Well, like I said, Memphis is the leading rebounders in the NBA.
Okay, well, you want to know this thing about that. Steven Adams has the highest offensive rebounding percentage in the NBA. He has not been playing this
But
series.
Brandon Clark has been fantastic.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying
You
that
get Steven Adams off
the
there.
key to this series is rebounding.
Yeah.
And that Minnesota is giving Memphis so many extra possessions because they're not rebounding well. But I agree with you, And it's funny because
Not a sure take, bro. I agree with you.
I told if the audience doesn't know by now, like, I read all the comments. I may not respond to them, but I read them. And it's funny because the Minnesota video did pretty well, and it had a lot of comments, and the Wolves in 7 video. And it's just funny when I read the comments because obviously this is not how I feel, but the passion Minnesota fans have. And I'm going to save like a more emotional speech for if they potentially lose because I love Minnesota fans. The passion these guys have and the way they've been backing me has been amazing. If you look at some of those comments,
I'll be peeping.
it's very disrespectful to you two.
I be peeping. They be violating us.
So some of them be like, "Oh, it's clear Joel's basketball knowledge is far more
One of them was just
superior."
like, Joel, kick them both off.
It was like
damn.
it's clear Joel is a mastermind who studies every single component of the game of basketball.
So I'm saying you need this one. You need this
That
one.
happened. You know what's crazy? That also happened with you and the Rams. It was just the same thing. Like I was reading the comments one day randomly, and they was just like, "Drew's the only guy, man. Rams Nation." It's just like it's so fun to see stuff like that.
It
man.
is fun.
Minnesota, man.
You deserve it though. This is your take, bro, and I'm riding your
like
bus.
I
Wolves in
said,
seven.
This is
Wolves
your
in
bus.
seven.
I'm
Wolves
hopping
in-
on your bus, bro.
Wolves in seven,
I
man.
apologize, Minnesota. Don't fold on me though. Don't lose, 'cause I'm gonna get tight.
But I'll say this: I need to start off by giving John Moran his due diligence to start the game off as shaky as he did, and to come down in the stretch of the fourth quarter and score 18 points with the game winner. It just speaks volumes to John Morant and his aggression, his character, his belief in himself. Shout out to John Morant. The performance he put forth was all-time great for the first round, of course. Now, for the whole analysis of this series, I will say this. I need to give credit to Brandon Clark because he has dominated this series for the Grizzlies down low, averaging 16, 8 rebounds, on 70% from the field this series, and the last game that they played, 21 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 64% from the field. He has been great, but let's also give credit to Desmond Bane, who I have been consistently telling you guys is the real deal. 24 points per game, 48% from the field, 47% from three, 90% from the free throw, about 2.5 assists, and barely any turnovers. I'm looking at the Grizzlies, and you guys are pretty fair in what you guys are saying. The Wolves have folded 2 games that they should have easily locked up, and the Grizzlies have seized opportunity. I do believe that this series does go 7. This series has had 7 written all over it, given the fact of how the Wolves look to dominate. Then you have game 2, you have the Grizzlies come out and absolutely smoke the Wolves. And then you have a complete turnaround of game 3 where the Wolves are dominating. Grizzlies come back, somehow win. Game 4, shout out to the Wolves. They had control of that game pretty much the entire way. And game 5 again, the Wolves choking it. Game 6 is going to be in Minnesota. I think Minnesota does win that game. Game 7, I don't see the Grizzlies losing. I'm looking at John Morant, and I feel like his energy is going to be completely different for a game 7. And I'm looking at the supporting cast of the Grizzlies as a whole. It's been well more consistent than the Wolves. It's been the Karl Anthony Towns show and Anthony Edwards. They have been tremendous.
Pat Bev has been really good.
He has been, and I will definitely give him
shout
an
out to
acknowledgement.
Zaire Williams, the rookie. He's been good in the minutes he's gotten. So shout out to him for that. Like,
Okay.
Getting in, being a rookie, it's tough. Playoff atmosphere. He's been good in his minutes. But yeah, Pat Bev's been a dog. I ain't gonna lie.
But you mentioned it perfectly. Steven Adams coming in, you were expecting him to be the force down low, but given the fact that Karl Anthony Towns is really making it really hard for Steven Adams to even be on the floor, for Brandon Clark to come in and step in the way
I
that
seen
he
it
has.
early. Game 1, it was early.
OD, that's
he made
facts.
it very early. Like, get him off the court.
But for Brandon Clark to come in and still have the impact that he's had, it just speaks credit to him and how deep that this Memphis Grizzlies roster really is. I think the Grizzlies do take Game 7 and do move on. Now, for the Warriors and Grizzlies, as I do see it, I think the Warriors are going to win that series. I'm going to have them win in 5 games. It'll be a really good 5 games with some games leaning more towards the Warriors because the Warriors just have a crazy lineup right now. And I just got to acknowledge what's going over there in Golden State. That DEFCON 5 lineup is legit. And with Curry being as selfless as he is and coming off the bench, he started tonight, correct?
Yeah, 27. Ended the game. 6 points in 2 minutes.
Dude's a beast.
Sorry. I had to,
6 points in 2 minutes?
Jokic was going crazy, though. They was like going back and forth. Respect.
You know, and you got to give credit to Jokic. He tried his hardest.
I needed him to get one. I told you. I just needed one.
I thought he'd get 2. He blew it, man. They were up 8.
I needed one. He got the one. I was
He
like,
didn't blow it, but
No, of course. The Nuggets, they lost. It is what it is. They're not. They're
it's the
not on their
fourth.
levels. Yeah, exactly.
Austin Rivers ain't going to do too much.
No. But I think the Warriors are just playing at a higher level basketball right now, and you guys mentioned it perfectly. The matchup definitely leans Grizzlies, but even still, I think the lineup that the Warriors are running and how well that they're playing, and Klay Thompson coming back and really seems like he hasn't even missed a step. He has been brilliant in this postseason so far. I'm expecting the Warriors to continue the hot streak.